Okay, I'm going to attempt to speak about the armed standoff that we're having in Oregon between the ranchers and the federal government. So, what really started this all off is for years and years and years, the Bureau of Land Management has been basically strong arming these guys. In 2010, the Hammond family had started a backfire that was government approved. The government said, yeah, that's fine, you can do that, to stop another fire. So they did. And then the Bureau of Land Management said that, hey, it actually increased the value of the land and that no one was harmed, and only about $100 or something was, lost, but the land's value was increased. So then, a few months later, a year later, whatever it was, the Hammonds had to start another backfire that was not approved by the government. The reason it wasn't approved by the government is because it was from a lightning strike, and a lightning strike started the fire. The fire was coming towards their ranch. They didn't get approval from the government because it was more important to them to save their ranch than to call up the government and say, hey, can we get permission to start a backfire? So, not knowing acts of God, there was no way that they could get any kind of pre-approval to do it. So, at that point, that's when the government comes and says, no, 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 no. We didn't give you permission to do that. And it burned 134 acres. And even the Bureau of Land Management came out and said, hey, yeah, it did burn it, but it actually raised, and you can look all this up online, it raised the value of the land. So what's the problem here? So they take and they charge this 73-year-old man and his son with terrorism under some friggin' anti-terrorist death penalty act of 1996, whatever the hell that is. And they go to court, and the government said, we want to give them 5 years in prison. Well, the judge at the time said, no, that doesn't make sense. They're not terrorists. So he gave the old man, 73-year-old man, he gave him 3 months. Gave his son 12 months. Well, they do their time. They get out of jail, and here comes the government, the Bureau of Land Management. Here they come again, out to their ranch. And they say, you must, at this point, sell us your land and move on. We don't want you here anymore. And this is how much we're going to give you for your land. And they said, no, we're not selling our land. We've been working this land since 1965 or whatever the hell it was. So then the Bureau of Land Management says, oh, you're going to tell us, the federal government, you're going to tell us that we can't buy your land? We're the feds. We can do anything we want, don't you know? Well, then the government comes back in a double jeopardy, a move of double jeopardy in my opinion, and says, put him back in prison. Make him do the 5 years. Which is unconstitutional. This is a whole unconstitutional thing anyway. The government doesn't own anything. The government's not allowed to own anything. If they're allowed to own anything, it may be 10 square miles of each state or something. It's not very much. But here they come and they've owned, 60% of California and 45% of other states. All this crazy shit that they say, this is federal land. We own this land. How do you own something when you yourself do not exist? The United States government does not exist. The only thing that exists is individual men coming together, claiming to have authority over other human beings, and pointing guns at them and say, do as we tell you or we'll blow your brains out or lock you in a cage. That's what it is, people. It's all violence. It's all force. The initiation of force by the United States government, which is just a bunch of fucking thugs banding together claiming they have authority over other human beings. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And you got people like Montel Williams saying, we should drop bombs. We should drop bombs on these hillbillies. Take them out. Take them out. Kill these terrorists. These y'all Al-Qaedas. Y'all Al-Qaedas. Look, man, we're standing in a time in history where this government is just as bad, if not worse, than King George, the guy that we ran from in 1700s and we fought a war against. And here we stand again today with a freaking tyrant as president. And the president before him was a tyrant. And the president before him was a tyrant. And the next president will be a tyrant. We cannot continue down this road, people. We have to realize this is not working. This is not working. The government's trampling all over our rights, and we just sit back and say, well, at least I get to go get myself a cup of coffee in the morning, and I'm married, I got kids, I got family, I ain't gonna lose nothing against the government. I ain't gonna lose nothing against, let them do what they're gonna do. As long as I ain't doing no wrong, they won't bother me. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. It has nothing to do if you're doing anything wrong or not. They'll come and they'll trample you. They'll put a boot on your fucking neck. It's fucking ridiculous, and it pisses me off, and oh my God, I don't know where this country is going, but it's not good, and it's not going to end well for anyone if we don't wake up and do something. So we have a choice to make, people. Wake up and realize that these people do not care about you. All they care about is themselves, those people around them, and money. 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 Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what we have in the federal government. So there's my whole opinion on the armed standoff, y'all Al-Qaeda supposable terrorist, which is nothing more than a bunch of ranchers tired of being strong-armed by a federal freaking bureaucracy that nobody voted. We didn't vote these guys in to be Bureau of Land Management. I didn't vote for the FBI. I didn't vote for the DEA. I didn't vote for any of these fucking people, man. But here they are, stomping on my rights every single day and stomping on your rights every single day. So that's my opinion. I'm going to get off here, and hopefully this video has got sound, because sometimes it doesn't have sound, and I would hate to have to do this over again.